Oh, hey, I just assumed you guys had left. It's been a month since I put out my last video. What are you doing? The movie's over. Go home. So it's been a month since I made my last video. What's the reason? My good friend Marcus Edblad has reached out to me and said, I'm making all these videos. You're not making any videos. What's going on? So I'll just kind of start out by giving you kind of a anticlimactic answer to that. It hasn't been that I've been too busy. It hasn't been that there's too much going on or something is wrong with me or something is wrong at home. Everything's great. I've been enjoying my golf. I've been enjoying my time, and I think maybe I just needed a little bit of a break. That might be part of the explanation, but the real explanation is that the more I've gone down this rabbit hole and the more I've studied all these different golf swings and tried them all out and put them to the test and then gone back and picked them apart and trying to build my own swing, the more I've done that, the more I've realized that there's really nothing else that I have that's going to be this revelation that you can't already get from the videos that I've been making lately. I've told you that once you distill everything down, in my experience, in my opinion anyway, which is not that of a certified professional, so, take from that what you will, but once you distill all of this down to its basest elements, it's really just trying to get the club face to come back to the ball fairly square, having your swing path be pretty much down the line where you want it, giving it just a little bit of speed, and your angle of attack, controlling your low point. After that, there's really not a lot to it. So I'm just going to go through kind of how I warm up. This is the same way that I warm up out here if I'm going to play around on the simulator. It's the same way that I'd warm up if I go out to the range and I'm going to play a round of real golf. That warm up just starts with just some little pitch shots. I've already done the little pitches, the like 20 and 30 yard pitches. I know a lot of you don't want to waste your golf balls on the driving range with those, but with me and having bad wrists and all that, and a lot of you guys out there watching are older as well, you need that sort of light motion in the beginning to sort of get the engine warmed up before you put the pedal down on the floor and go down the street. So I've already warmed up with some of those short pitches, and now I've got a flag chosen out here. The target is set at 59 yards. I've got a 60-degree wedge in my hand. In order to hit this green and it to count as a hit green, it doesn't matter where the ball goes later. All that matters is where the ball lands. If I land short and it hops on, it doesn't count. If I hit the green and it bounces off, it does count. So it doesn't matter where the ball stops and comes to rest. All that matters is pretty much just where you land the ball. So I'm trying to land this somewhere in that 59-yard range. And really, all I'm trying to do when I make these swings, ooh, that one barely snuck onto the back. That might have been a little bit too much. That definitely carried more than 59 yards. It more like 65 maybe. I carried 64, a total of 62. But really all I'm doing with these shots, it just snuck on, is I'm just setting up sort of how I want my impact to be as far as my club position goes. I know that I want this club to catch that ball on the way down and my low point be after the ball. I know that I want my club face a little square. I want the grip outrunning the club head to impact. I want it winning the race to the finish line. And so I just kind of set the club in there like that. And then I picture this stripe. You could imagine a neon line. You could imagine a tape line, a paint line, a string line. Just something you can kind of draw in your mind's eye from the ball out this way to give me some direction. I come in here and I set the club that way. I've got the forward shaft lean built into it. I've got the club face oriented perpendicular to that line. And I'm just going to step into it. And all I'm thinking right here is I want my club face to be looking at the ball as much as possible. And then just give myself enough time to allow the grip to win the race to the golf ball. That's going to be a little bit short, possibly. Nope, that's right at it. That worked out fine. And that's kind of it. That's really all there is to it. It's why I haven't been making very many videos lately. There's just not that much more to tell from this point. Once you understand that stuff, it's really just about going out to your simulator if you have one, or to a simulator bay that you can get to somewhere in town maybe, or getting out on the driving range and just working on it. From there, it's just a matter of trying to grind that stuff out, trying to build that repetition, trying to practice it, and just ingraining it into your system. I'm going to set this and I'm just going to carry it through. Just like that. Your form, ooh, that one might not have caught the back. That was pretty strong. That may not have clipped the back. That might not count, but that's all right. I'd make the chip and the putt to save my par. It did miss. But it's really that simple. Your form, how you look, what your club head speed is, where your weight is. I mean, if you're getting the results that you want, if you set up to the golf ball and you're getting the results that you want, really, how big a deal? God, I'm hitting these strong. That is really going a lot further than I thought. I need to really try to dial in my 60 here. But what does it matter what your form is like? I hear so often that positions with your body, it's the most important thing. That if you can get these positions right, then everything will start to fall into place. And I just cannot agree with that. I have tried to agree with that. I've been down that road and I've tried that and I can't agree with it. What I can agree with, however, is that the position that this club gets into at impact, that's universal. It's universal to everybody. If this club makes an impact with the club face leading the grip like that, unless you're on a really fluffy lie to where you can scoop under it, you're not making good contact with that. The grip has to be leading the club head. The club face has to be oriented pretty much perpendicular to your target. Your club path has to be oriented with that club face in such a way to produce the type of shot flight that you want. If you want a straightish ball, if you want a little draw, if you want a little fade, whatever, those have to be oriented correctly. Then you need a little bit of speed. But I think speed has become a real, let's just say it's a trap. Like Star Wars, it's a trap. Everything in the last 10 to 15 years that I've seen has been all about building club head speed, building hand speed, club head speed, ball speed, everything. Got to get faster, got to get faster, got to get faster. We're building the drivers, designing all of those to get more club head speed. And I'm not saying that club head speed or ball speed is a bad thing. It couldn't be further from the truth. It's a great thing. What I am saying, however, is there's this old saying on one of these little pewter things that you might see on somebody's visor in their car, and it says, never drive faster than your guardian angel can fly. It's telling you, don't really push your luck. Give it time. Give it time to develop. You don't have to get there. You don't want to end up somewhere where you're in a disaster and there's nobody there to help you. With that, I would say the way to translate that over to golf is to say, all right, speed is good, but don't get so much speed that you're throwing away the club angle. You're giving away that position. You're getting the lack of control, the lack of consistency, that predictability that you need in order to be able to strategize for a predictable shot and then play good golf based off of the strategy that you can create. It's really hard to have a good strategy when you have no consistency or predictability. The unpredictable nature of your shots. You can't strategize around that. You need something you can control. And if that means you're going to be hitting 110-yard pitching wedges instead of 150-yard pitching wedges like they do on tour, so be it. So be it. But make sure that 110-yard pitching wedge that you're hitting goes 95 times out of 100 about where you want it to go, and that your dispersion, left to right, your misses, are much tighter grouped, because the harder a lot of us try and swing, the more out of position we get, the more erratic our results become, and it really just, it starts to hurt us rather than help us. So don't focus so much on being super fast. God, I'm really killing this lob wedge tonight. I don't understand. Maybe it's this golf ball. Maybe it just has a little bit of extra magic dust inside of it. But don't drive faster than your guardian angel can fly. Give your swing, give your hands and arms, give the club and everything time to get back into that good impact position that's going to give you that nice consistent strike, and it's really going to be efficient. You're not going to have to swing so hard to get stuff out of it. You could swing a little easier and catch sweet spot more often and be more consistent in that way. And it'll really take a lot of the strain and struggle and stress off of your body. That's not such a good swing. But you don't have to be perfect with your technique. You don't have to look perfect when you swing. For so long, I was trying to put myself into this picture perfect position with my body to have my swing look a certain way. And I get it. Nobody wants to look stupid out on the golf course. You want to look like you know what you're doing. You don't want to make a weird swing. And if you're doing something really weird physically, you got to ask yourself, why is that happening? Is it because maybe you have some physical limitations, or maybe you have a disability or a lack of mobility that is causing that? Maybe you can't get your body to be like somebody on TV. And that's fine if that's what the case is. And you just need to worry about getting the club into the right position at the right time. That's really it. And so I haven't honestly been making a bunch of videos lately because there's nothing more than that to say. Let me change my target here. I'll go out to 100 yards and I'll just kind of skip forward in my progress. But I'll start out with the wedges and kind of work my way up, maybe through the odd clubs, and then next time I might do the even clubs just in a warm-up routine. And then I never really hit practice driver off the tee. At the club that I go to, you can't hit driver because too many people drive it out past. So I just kind of work my way up through 7-iron or 6-iron, and then boom, I go out and I'm ready to play. Then on the first tee, I'm really not doing anything special with the driver, like trying to kill it. Just get that angle and form it and just throw it out there. 100-yard club is my approach wedge. There's tons of guys I see in videos now, many of them younger than me, that their approach wedge, their 50-yard or their 50-degree wedge, they're throwing it 130, something like that. I don't have that in the bag, and I'm not worried about it. It doesn't really bother me at all. So that's it. I'm just throwing it out there and taking what is consistent to me. And consistent is a relative term. If you're a beginning golfer, you haven't been playing very long, consistent could mean 5 out of 10 shots are within like a 50, 60-foot circle from 50 yards out, whatever. For a touring pro, that is not consistent. I mean, 10 out of 10 for a tour pro would probably be consistent within a 20-foot circle from 50 yards out. So it's all relative. You have to take what time and effort you can devote to the game into consideration, and don't be too hard on yourself, really. Don't try to do too much. That's coming up short. I threw that one away. Don't try to do too much. Just take it easy. Still not too bad of a result. I mean, I didn't hit the green with the first shot, but it made it up onto the green. Don't be so hard on yourself. Take it easy. Slow it down. Give yourself time. Get to a point to where you can get consistent results. And even if it's a consistent, let's say, low slice, but you do it every time, that's at least a good starting point. That's somewhere that you can start. And then you could try to work that flight into something that is more playable. But you have to get to a consistent point first. And you need to start small. You need to start slow. When you go to warm up, it's always a good piece of advice. It doesn't work for everybody. And I think when you're younger, you can start out just flailing away with driver if you want to, because you're made out of rubber bands and gasoline. But start with your small clubs. Start with your wedges. Start out at the green. Start with putts just to get used to contact with the ball. Then go to some chip shots around the green if they'll let you chip around that green. then maybe some pitch shots, then go out to the driving range. Then start working on dialing in half wedges, full wedges, and work your way up through the lower irons and the mid irons, and then you've got yourself warmed up pretty well. But don't really go out there and try and be a world beater. Go out there and try and find consistency and predictability. Not my best strike, but I think that'll do okay. Just a bit short. That's all right. I can chip and putt and make that all day. That's the other thing. Work on your chipping and putting. Stop tinkering so much with your swing. Just think about getting the club face square, down the line with the path, get your low point under control, and find consistency. That's it. It's really all it is. There is no secret. There is no magic sauce. There is no, I've got to do this or I've got to do that with my body. The only thing you got to do is do things with the club. The club is king. The club at impact is even more king than that king. Just do that. There's really no other things that you need to know other than that. That's it. Now go grind, put in the work, get on the range, and hit golf balls until your arms fall off. Thanks for watching. See you next time.